Good evening, everybody. So today I wanted to talk about something highly important and something that seems to have cropped up an awful lot in kind of the last couple of weeks. An awful lot more people talking about this than I would like to think. I'd like to hear talking about it. It's motivation and goals. A number of people that I've heard saying that currently they're feeling really unmotivated and they don't really know what to do, and they're struggling with kind of having the desire and having that drive to keep going. I'm not really sure what it is that they're trying to achieve. So I thought, have a quick chat about it, try and simplify the whole process, because this is something that should be easy. This is something that shouldn't be a problem. This is something that should be really, really clear to you from the get-go. Now, sure, yes, you'll have fluctuations, but in the grand scheme of things, you should know, and you should know what you're wanting to get from it, and it should be relatively simple and straightforward for you to get there. Okay, so I've got 5 points written down. Motivation and goals. What is it? What are they? What are we looking for here? So they go hand in hand. If you've not got a goal that you can follow and you can achieve and you can get a grasp of, then you're never going to be motivated to do it. The goal doesn't have to be this huge, grand, massive thing. The goal can be a really, really simple thing. The goal can be a really, really easy thing, but it needs to be something that means something to you. These goals span a huge, huge range of things. Your objective could pure and simply be something as straightforward as, I want to do 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week. The only reason for getting the 3 sessions in is that you want your baseline fitness to go up, so that it's like running for a train, or chasing a kid around the garden, or going out and going for a long walk with your dog become simple and easy things for you to do, and they aren't as much of a struggle. So these goals are broad ranging, and it covers everything, and everybody has different ones. When I used to swim when I was younger, my goals were far, far, far more competitive than they are now. My goals now are more about me and my performance. Other people, your goal might be weight loss. It might be fitness related. It might be do X amount of park runs. It might be get a certain position. It might be win an event. As long as this goal means something to you, and as long as this goal is something that you can attach yourself to, it'll become a motivation. Without that motivation, you're never going to achieve that goal. Okay? That moves on quite nicely to point 2. Why are these important? That's possibly the simplest point here. If you don't have a goal and don't have motivation, you're not going to stick at what you're doing. This, speaking from personal experience, this is evident throughout certainly my entire life. The sports that I had no interest in, never really got any better at them. Sports that I did have interest in, huge performance. If I go back to my youth, I had no interest in running. I would never wanted to be a runner, never wanted to do running. It was never my thing. Swimming was. Swimming, I was up there. Like I was a really good top level swimmer within the country. Running, no. It wasn't until I was 34 that I actually did my first ever 5k. I had no motivation, and now it's different. Now, due to the nature of the sport that I do, I have more of a drive to be better at running. But my point being, when I was probably the best level athlete that I've ever been, my running was abysmal, because I had no interest in it, I had no motivation. Therefore, as a prime example of why goals are important. If my goal had just been to get fitter, I'd have wanted to do both and build myself up. My goal wasn't. My goal was swimming. Everything was focused on that. Therefore, my swimming performance was miles above where my running performance was. Point number 3, realistic and unrealistic. Right? Now, when I was swimming, I'm probably going to use my swimming quite a lot. When I was swimming, the likelihood of me making the Olympics wasn't very high. Possibility of me medaling at Scottish events, pretty high. I always had realistic goals. My goal, and I don't, probably not too many people know this, but my goal when I was swimming was there were certain people that I wanted to train with, and that was it. I didn't have huge, grand, massive goals when I was swimming. When I first started, got to a certain level, and on that path, working through kind of what I wanted to do, I just wanted to get to a certain level. I wanted to be training with a certain group of people. That was all that I wanted. I ended up going past that, I ended up resetting new goals, I ended up sort of like working my way above that, but everything was done in small increments. I didn't start swimming and say I'm going to make the Olympics, because it's an unrealistic goal. There's a great video, I'll actually try and link that below as well, of Tim Minchin doing a talk to a group of university students. And I think, if I'm right, it's a wee bit rude, spoiler, but it's worth listening to. But I think his first point is, you hear people talking about these huge goals and, you know, I have a dream and I want to do this, and that's great, but he talks about being sort of micro ambitious. Let's look at all these wee bits and bobs, let's look at these wee things that we can put together, and if we go for all these wee things, yeah, they can lead us to our big thing, but they'll take us there in a controlled and standard manner. They're not just going to fix it, bang, there we go. You know, I've started doing what I want to do, I've hit my end goal. You know, the same thing comes down to things like weight loss, fitness level, all that sort of stuff. You know, you can't walk in and be like, right, I weigh X and I want to weigh half of that in 10 days. It's not going to happen. You know, you just physically can't do it. Same idea as if you're a marathon runner and you walk in and go, this is my time, I want to knock half the time off it. It's not going to happen. You need to do it progressively, and having these small bite-sized targets in place make a massive difference to getting there. It's what I had, it's what other people have. Now, this leads me on to falling off track and getting back on track, and this is one of the main reasons that I'm doing this video just now, because I've heard so many people talking about losing their motivation recently and losing their sort of objective and drive, and yeah, it's going to come, it's going to peak and it's going to trough, and irrespective of what your goal is, whether it's weight loss, whether it's fitness, you're going to have a plateau at some point, and that's when things get difficult. Now, we business plug, you know, having a coach or a personal trainer to help you get through a plateau, it's massive. It's massive. Throughout most of my sporting career, I've had a coach, I've had a trainer. Even prior to doing this, like if I bring this back to like a professionalism side of things, when I was working in the bank, I always had a mentor. I had someone who could help me. So if I got stuck or I got confused, or I got to a point where I was like, I don't really know how best to improve on this situation, I had someone to turn to. Now that's an easy one. Now, I say easy, having a coach, having a personal trainer, that costs money. So yes, there is an expense there, but have that conversation with the personal trainer or the coach. There are 9 times out of 10 opportunities and variances that can go in there. There can be simple consultation processes that can help with it, instead of having to buy blocks and invest huge amounts of money, you can have a sit down, a chat with somebody, and it might just cost you a little bit, or maybe you're stuck in a movement and you go in, you have one class with someone and they pick up what you're missing on, they give you your program and you go away and work on it, and next thing you know, 6 weeks down the line, you're back on track. The other side of falling off track and getting back on track is those bite-sized goals that I talked about in the last point. If you hit a plateau and you're struggling, and you've got that easy way back onto it because you can just look at it and you can reevaluate, that's going to be a massive win for you. Where that becomes so much more difficult is if you've got this huge goal, coming back to this sort of like small over big, right? If you hit a plateau and you've got a huge end goal in sight, you're never going to get yourself back on track for that. You're going to become disenchanted with what's going on. You're going to fall further away and you're going to start questioning why you're doing it. You're going to have those negative thoughts creeping in. On the flip side of that, if you've just got a small goal and you have to augment that slightly just to allow you to do what you have to do, you're on to a winner. Because straight off the bat, you can get back on track. You can change that goal to say, right, this isn't happening. What can I switch it to that I can focus on? And that can be my goal. So if we use just strength as an objective, right? So use strength as an objective measurement. You're working on your squat and your squat just stalls. Change the exercise. Do something different. Bring in something that's going to do purely glute strength. So you could start doing back extensions, you could start doing good mornings, you could start doing, variations of donkey kicks, all that sort of stuff, glute bridges, to build up glute strength. You could change it to hamstring strength. You could look at something that's going to transfer over and give you that opportunity to improve it. And that then just means that you're still following the same goal. You've just had that opportunity to change it a wee bit. And it brings me on to my last point quite nicely, which is remember the purpose of what you're doing. If you're part of a team, then yes, this is going to be slightly different, but you're only going to be training and exercising for you. The main objective of what you're doing, the main reason for your training should always be you, not somebody else or not somebody else's desires or wants or objectives. If it is, it's going to be really hard for you to want to continue to do it. Whereas, if you're working for you, you're going to want to stick at that. You're going to be like, this is my thing. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. Not what somebody else wants for you. What I want. And want is a very, very important thing. There's a huge, huge difference between I need to do this because someone's told me to, and I want to do this for me and for my goals. If you can have that one and you can stick with that one and you can continue to push that one, man, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. There are not many things that are going to knock you down, okay? Remember the reason that you started doing what you're doing, and always be able to return to that. If you keep, just to quickly summarise what we're talking about here, if you can keep those goals small and achievable, with the greater picture still in mind, you'll remain motivated. If you can remain motivated, irrespective of what bumps you come across on the road, you will stay on track, and it will be much easier to get back on track when things get hard. And if you can continue down that path with those simple structures around it, you're never going to have a problem remembering why you're doing it. And if you can remember why you're doing it, you'll always want to do it. So thanks very much for your time. Thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this or you've taken something from it, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if this is on YouTube. If you wouldn't mind liking my page, or follow my page if it's on Instagram. If you've got any questions whatsoever, please just drop me a message and get back to you as quickly as I can. You can either DM me on any one of the platforms, you can drop a comment below. Alright, thank you very much guys, and we'll see you in the next one.